wow, inflation's going up, prices are going up, people are losing jobs and things are just getting harder. But hold on. In September 2024, Lamborghini made over 3 billion in revenue, making it its best sales period in over 60 years. That is 60 years, people. I thought we're in a recession. There must be something dodgy going on. Well, there isn't. Since 2020, on average, the world saw a new billionaire created every 17 hours. That's more than one a day. Despite what you hear flowing around you every day, wealth is being created. Maybe not by you and the people around you, but somewhere out there, massive wealth is being created around the clock. While some people struggle in different parts of their lives, other people are growing. Sometimes your version of reality and the truth of the physical world doesn't line up. And that could relate to your perspective on money and wealth, and your perspective on relationship and your abilities. So many areas. And this could be because your mind is infected. One of the biggest, if not the biggest factor, is that people around you that feed into your mind. Right now, we're gonna unpack how this happens and how we can change the infected mind that destroys potential to a strong one that elevates you to the next level of success. So stay with me. When you really take a look at the world, you'll see that there's other people living not just a different life to you, they're living in a completely different reality to you. There's people out there who start exactly where you are right now that make your yearly salary in a month, easily. That's their reality. There's people out there that retire at 35 while your plan is to retire at 65. That's their reality. There's people out there who have dyslexia and they're out here public speaking, writing books, getting PhDs, whereas you have dyslexia and you avoid reading out loud. Like me, I haven't actually been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have dyslexia because my whole life, reading out loud has been an issue. It's always been a challenge, but I've never let that stop me. I'll be real. Sometimes people are in a situation even worse off than you are, but somehow they can do things you wouldn't even dream of. What's the difference between them and you? Why do some people live in such a dramatically different reality to you when you're so convinced your reality is the truth? Why do you believe your reality is the truth? The fact that there are people doing things, having things, and achieving things that you think aren't possible means it is possible for you. But why are they there where they are? And why are you where you are? That's the big question. All right, let's get real. To understand the issue of why your reality is limited, you need to go straight to the roots. And some of these go as far back as your childhood. They always say you need to go back to the roots. You heard that before. You need to understand where they come from and how they come about, because most of the time they aren't actually based in your reality. But boy, do they feel real. So there's two roots in an infected mind. Let's go over exactly what they are. The first one is lack of awareness. You don't think it's possible because you've never seen it. It can be as simple as that. Most of the time, people aren't aware they're limited because something just doesn't occur to them because they've never seen it or thought about it. From childhood, we've been programmed to think and behave according to what we see and experience in our surroundings. If you turn on the TV and you see a rich person, it's just a rich person, no? It's not part of your reality. You've never seen the process, so it's not real to you. It's not part of your world. You look to your left, you look to your right, and everyone's going on the same path. But when you look at other people and their social group, they're doing something completely different that you want to do. And for their circle, that's normal. For example, everyone in your social group lives in South London, where I'm actually from. And they all want to stay in the same area, live on ends, forever. If you want to move somewhere else, let's say somewhere like Netherlands, they might be like, what the hell? That's a bit weird. Why would you go there? South London's the best. But that's only weird in your social group compared to people in other social groups that travel the world all the time. People who are more open to live abroad. That's a completely different world. The second route is limitations put on you. Now this can be direct. People literally tell you you can't do something to limit you. Sometimes people are just haters. Let's just be real. Other times, for some reason, there's people telling you you can't do something because it's them trying to save you from the harsh reality they experience. But that was based on their experience. It doesn't have to be your experience. They're limiting you based on their own limitations. Limitations put on you can also be other people setting the boundaries for your life. Not necessarily directly by telling you you can't do something. It can be deeper than that. They move and make you move as if certain things aren't for you, aren't for us. They assume that you just agree, and because you're not conscious of it or haven't even thought about it, you don't push back. So it just becomes your reality. All of this happens subconsciously. That's why who you choose to keep around you is so important. Remember, it's a choice. Sometimes it can just be projection of the way you think. It's like programming. They keep saying things around you long enough that you start to believe it. Then you start to see it in your life. Before you know it, it's real. Anyone who tells me I can't do something, I literally blank them. I won't even lie. If someone told me their goals, I would never say that's not possible. But I might challenge them though to make sure their plan is solid. And by the end of it, either they would make the changes to their plan so they're more likely to achieve their goal, or they're even more confident that they can achieve the plan. That's the effect I want to have on people around me. Well, you can crush this infected mind in just 2 moves. Listen carefully. I want you to write your notes in the comments. There's no point in listening for fun. Write your notes down and you can implement them straight away. First, there's a defensive move. Think of it this way. Your mind is like a house. It has windows and doors. These are the openings to your mind. The question is whether the door to your mind is open to things you're hearing. You hear things every day. But do you choose to open your mind and accept those beliefs as yours? Let me give you a quick example. The other day, I was telling a friend about a video. I saw someone sharing their experience on YouTube about getting monetized in 7 days, meaning they got over 1,000 subscribers in 7 days. Crazy, right? Straight away, they were like, nah, I don't believe this. Impossible. His mind was closed to this possibility from the beginning. He'd already decided his belief. All right, let me give you one more example. Back in the day, someone was telling me that if you don't go to uni, you can't really get a good job. You can't get a good, high-paying job. Immediately, I was like, nah. My mind was closed to that limiting belief. If I accepted it, that would have made sure it was true, because I wouldn't have even tried. You have the power to choose when the windows and the doors to your mind are open. That is what you accept as a belief, because you can only ever experience what you actually believe. If you believe getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is possible in 7 days, there's a chance it could actually happen. You'll move in a way of someone who actually believes they could do it and push to make the reality happen. If you believe that if you don't go to uni, you wouldn't ever be able to get a high-paying job or even get a good job, then you wouldn't even try, meaning you would live that reality. The thoughts and beliefs that you let into the doors and windows of your mind either eliminate potential or create possibility. Maybe you've heard Henry Forbes' quote, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." I'll put my hands up. I'll be honest. I used to always say that people around you don't need to affect you. Not really, but actually, it's just not true. I've literally seen it happen in both ways, negative and positive. Negative, because I've seen people who said that they would never, and I mean never, do something. Do the very thing they said they would never do, just because of the people that they had around them. I've also seen it happen in a positive way, where I've been on a mentorship, and with success, it was just like a domino effect. Everyone was getting results left, right, and center, making deals happen, just one after the other after the other. Even the people who were doubting at the beginning and said they couldn't do it, even they were getting it done, because the success and belief was just contagious. In both ways, both negative and positive, it was like the beliefs were being transferred because of who was around you. And to focus on the negative for a minute and highlight the damage it could really do, limiting thoughts are actually infecting you. If someone's infected, what do you usually look like? They look sick, right? There's a physical manifestation in the body, so you can actually see that they're sick. The symptoms show they're coughing, colors look off, they're struggling to breathe. When your mind is infected, it's the same thing. There's symptoms. There's a physical manifestation of your mental infection. Your behavior is limited, is slower, less confident. The infected mind manifests into reality through your behaviors and actions. So you can't outsmart an infected mind. That's why it needs to be rejected right from the root. You live in the world. You're going to hear people saying negative, draining, limiting things all the time. You can't avoid it. The question is, do you choose to open the door to your mind in those moments? Because it's only when the doors are open that anything comes in. If a house is in a storm and you open the windows and doors, the rain and the wind come in. Negative, draining, limiting beliefs are the storm raging around outside your house. Is the door open? If your house is in a dangerous area and you leave your doors open, what's going to happen? The thief can come in, ready to steal anything good that's inside. And that's what these negative beliefs do when you accept them. Be careful what you accept. Conversations where negative beliefs are thrown at you are going to happen. Have the conversations. If you need to, you can directly challenge and question them. But the main thing you need to do is consciously decide whether you're going to accept or reject the belief that you're being exposed to. There are some beliefs that are so damaging to the person that accepts it that if you slip up and leave the door open, even a crack, you may not be able to close it again. The minute you start believing it, you're done. You're finished. And it's up to you to work out what these damaging beliefs are. This one can be very spiritual, but I'll leave it to another day. Then there's the offensive move. So now we know how to defend our minds against these negative beliefs. Thank God. But now we have to adopt new beliefs, and we need to be on the offensive to find them. So you know the positive beliefs that are going to serve you and help you get where you want to be. Your job is to find ways to validate them so you can embed and believe them. The more reference points you have to demonstrate that they're true, the more conviction you will have. Yeah, you could just believe them, but when you have reference points, it strengthens the belief and paves the way. The more you see it, the more you believe it's true. And how do you find reference points to help validate your positive beliefs? I'm going to walk you through 3 ways you can do this. Firstly, find examples of other people who've done the thing that you want to do. Listen and analyze their stories. How do they do it? What was their journey like? Start with just a simple search. Look right here on YouTube. You're going to find so many people telling their stories on how they've managed to do X and Y. Even try social media, Google, biographies, forums. Find as many people as you can who've done something similar to what you're trying to do, especially if they're just a few steps ahead of you, because their results will be more attainable, so you can replicate their wins quicker. This is important because when all those negative and limiting beliefs come to mind or get thrown at you by other people, it's much easier to reject the negative beliefs if you know of 10 people who have done the exact thing people are telling you can't do. Your defense against the limiting beliefs would be stronger. Another way of validating your belief is to look for ways to open your mind. I'm talking content, events, people, books. There's been times I've walked into a room with a certain mindset or belief, listened to people in that room, had conversations with people, and I've walked out a completely different man. Different mindset, different belief. The rooms you're in can make a massive difference. The people around you can make a difference too. You can't overlook that or underestimate the impact that these things can have. The same thing can happen when reading a certain book, watching a certain video, meeting certain people. This is basically you finding ways to immerse yourself into everything to do with what you want to achieve in a positive way. The last way to find reference points to validate your positive belief is to look for reasons you can do it. People who have what you want or have done things you want to do aren't special. They aren't the chosen ones. They're just people like you, like me. Most things are learnable. Most things are achievable if you really want it. It's you that put your own limitations on learning the skills that make you the person you want to be. The people you're looking at are just normal human beings. They've learned the skills, took the time, built a strong network, or spent years on their craft. They've done the work to achieve the results. Remember, they're no different to you. So this reference point is all about you. Write a letter to yourself. Tell yourself why you can do it. Include things like, if I've done it before or done something similar, I know I can do it again. Maybe you want to include your why. the reason why it's important, and why you're gonna commit to the end to make it happen. If you know you've got the skill set or you're developing the skill set, include that. Even just a promise to yourself that you're gonna see it through. Read it whenever you need to. Use it as a catalyst when you really need it. If there's times you find yourself stuck or down or about to give up, this is the first place you're gonna go. This is the first thing you're gonna grab. And when you read it, yourself is the first person you're gonna speak to. If you never need to bring it out, great. Put it in your calendar a year from now to bring it out and read it back. Either you've achieved the things you've laid out, maybe your goals have changed along the way, or you'll just be reminded of the things you've promised yourself at the beginning. All these reference points strengthen the positive beliefs that you want to reinforce and adopt. The same way an infected mind manifests with limiting behavior is the same way a strong mind manifests in positive behavior. You'll be moving forwards towards the things you want to make a reality. You'll be thinking about it, talking about it, learning about it, even dreaming about it. When you're doing this, you're actually reprogramming your mind. So there it is, the best way to uninfect your mind and reprogram it. And before we wrap up this video, I want you to be on guard, because after doing all this work to reprogram your mind, it's still possible for your mind to be reinfected. It's a never-ending game. One of the biggest things that gets people is managing their expectations. We usually have an expectation of what the journey should look like and how we expect things to unfold. When things don't go according to how we think they will happen, we can start to reopen our minds to those negative beliefs again. See, it's not working. Why did you think it was possible anyways? All those old thoughts come knocking on that door again. Are you going to open it? And this is where it counts. Another thing that gets people is attaching timelines to their results, thinking, oh, I need to achieve my goal right now. It needs to happen in the next 6 months. It needs to change in 1 year. All these kind of hard deadlines. The truth is, the process is the process. For some people, it's fast. Other people, it may take longer. That's why you can't compare. We can use other people as reference points, but we all have our own lane. So now we know why people can live in the same world, but live in two different realities. While for some people, all they can see are all the rising prices, low wages, and poverty around the corner. Whereas for other people, see wealth creation, possibility, and opportunities around the corner. That's how Lamborghini is breaking their own records and selling more luxury cars than ever before. The reality is that external factors affect your internal thoughts, and your internal thoughts dictate your actions. Your actions then create your reality. So remember, those who are intentional always win.